We are back, and it's time to elaborate on the EQ even more. And today we're actually going to learn how to use it in context with a mix and a transition. Okay, so we're going to use the same song that we used in yesterday's lesson. And now I'm just going to load up one more here that we can use to mix out of it or into it. We're going to figure out what we're going to do here. So I'm just going to mix into it, actually, because I like this song a lot. So I'm just gonna go use my needle search here and search towards the end of this song. Let's just listen to that. Cool. Okay, so I'm just gonna play it from here. I'm gonna start this song from the very beginning. And what we're going to do now is we're going to use the EQ to smoothen out our transition. Last week, our transitions all were just kind of volume fades, which is very important to understand how to do from the get-go. But now we're getting a little more advanced, and we're going to smoothen that out with some EQ changes. So before I get started, let's just talk about what I'm going to be doing. So there's the bass swap that I mentioned in the last video. That is going to be the main thing you're going to do. Okay, when I'm DJing, and I've been DJing for about 6 years now, I also mess with the mids, but I almost rarely ever touch the highs. I almost never have to, unless I'm really wanting to kind of make this song die out and fade it out. But when a transition's going on, I actually rarely touch the highs. The mids, I do dip maybe about this far, but that's pretty much it. The mids also, a little side note, is if you have two vocals clashing, you can save that by cutting a mid completely. And that, in my opinion, is the only time you should ever cut your mids 100% of the way. Let's just listen to what it sounds like with no mids. You notice how you're missing so many frequencies, and it sounds really thin. So without the mids, and I'm going to turn them on again so you can hear the difference. You really need those mids. So again, if you were to have to do this, you should only have to do that in an emergency situation, cutting them, and that's to disengage one vocal so that they stop clashing. You can't just pull the song out. That's definitely not the right move to do. You could keep it going and save the mix by turning the mids down, and that's going to turn down one of the vocals enough to where it's not noticeable anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the song from the beginning once again. Oop. Okay, it's looking good. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm not even going to touch the mids yet. I'm just going to do a bass swap, okay? The 12 o'clock flip, I call it. So what I like to do is I start with no bass, okay? And I'm just going to touch the bass. So don't even worry about the mids. Let me make sure my sync is set up. My master track is here because we're mixing out of it into our new song. Sync is on, looking good. Okay, let me give myself a little bit of time here so I can push play at the right time. Okay, the tracks are triggered. Once 8 bars goes by, I'm going to bring this song up. Here it comes. So I have no bass playing. Okay, this is what it sounds like with two bass. It's going to be kind of muddy and clashing. They're kind of fighting for the frequency range. But I'm actually going to swap the bass and notice how the focus changes. The focus change, and now this song is sorry, you probably can't hear me very well. This song is the main focus now that I changed the bass. So I'm going to change the bass back and notice what happens. I'm changing that bass, the focus changes over to this song now. So let's just do this again now with another song. So I'm going to load up this Fat Sushi song. And we're going to mix into this out of our other track over here. So I'm just going to scan over to this back end of the song. And we're going to mix it in. And again, all we're going to do is our bass swap, okay? Tracks are queued up, so I'm going to bring it up with no bass, so that way the basses aren't clashing, and the focus is still going to be on our song on the right side. Okay. Not going to change the bass yet. Notice what happens when I do change it in 8 bars. So notice when I change the bass, the focus immediately goes over to this side. So that's the most significant EQ thing you can do, is the bass swap. And another thing you could do is just kind of blend the mids a little bit. So I'm going to show you that as well. Okay, let's see here. So I'm just going to do the exact same thing that I was doing before, except now I'm going to actually have the mids dipped as well, okay? Okay, so it's coming with no bass and a little less mids. Blending the mids now is bringing this song more into focus, but not completely until I bring in the bass. EQ technique is what I use regularly when I'm playing in the clubs, and you're able to really blend those frequencies. And it's not really even that big of a change. To a trained ear, I can hear a difference, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal. So you can get away with a really clean mix with just adjusting the bass there. But for a little bit of extra sauce, you can also adjust the mids there. And that wraps up our EQ lesson. I'll see you tomorrow.